Sup everybody, James here with another video review for you, and today I'm doing a review of Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Bumblebee. Now this figure is, as of a couple of months ago, 2 years old. Now, I know it's taken me 2 years to get around to this guy, but really I have been questioning whether I should have reviewed him or not. Shortly after I bought this guy, I actually grew bored with him. I actually sold him on to a friend, but then I decided to buy him back. I forget why. But in a way, I'm glad I did, because now I can do this review and, expose everything there is to expose about this toy. So, for the time being, let's get into Bumblebee. Now, he is his Cybertronian sort of thing. He's very streamlined. It's a very odd design, but it is well designed looking. It's visually interesting. You have nice little bits of red. You have the obvious yellow, black. There is a lot of red in it because if you've seen War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, the Transformers video games, really, the Autobots have a lot of red in them. The Decepticons have a lot of purple in them. But really, it is very nice looking. Now, he rolls very well, which is good to see. No secret gimmicks or anything for the vehicle mode, which is disappointing. But nonetheless, it is very nice looking. There's a lot of detail. It would have been nice in a tiny little bit of a way, not to say a huge amount, but if Hasbro brought out a second version of this toy with some sort of like Cybertronian battle damage on him, that would have looked class in my opinion. But, for the time being, the vehicle mode looks class. Now, as a slight bit of a size comparison with some of the modern Transformers, here's Transformers Prime Ratchet. Now, Bumblebee is way wider, and, from the looks of things, relatively the same sort of height. The same length? No. But he is freakishly wide, which is what I find the most disturbing. But, for the time being, nice little vehicle mode. It's very cute looking, but very alienish / futuristic. So, thumbs up. Now, for the transformation, this is where awkwardness is going to get into play. So, you're going to have to brace yourselves. Now, on the inside, you'll notice that there are these two little golden panels here. You're going to have to take the inside of one of them and take the wheel opposite it on the outside. So basically, if I take this one, I take the wheel that's closest to it and just carefully pull it out. So being careful that I'm doing so, just disconnect it. Now I have to do the same for the opposite side. Now, of course, some things are going to get flown apart here, or blown apart rather, but you will end up getting the top of the car moving. So trying to move it about, now what you can actually do is folding up a little panel at the very top here, fold it out and then fold the entire section up and around, like something like that. Now taking the rest of it, fold the legs down a little bit. Now, for this side, this little panel and the front of the wheel form the arm. This forms the leg. So, in my case, it always sticks like this during the transformation. So, I have to very carefully get this free, whilst trying not to break it if I can. Oh, come on. Ah, there we go. So, after disconnecting the legs, you're then going to have to take these. Hold on. Ow. Anyway, it should now look. I don't know what to call this anymore. But after doing something similar to this, take the front wheels, just disconnect them, and then fold it back so it connects with the arm. Connect it to the. Fold it back. Now it doesn't peg in anywhere, so it just loosely hangs about. But for the time being, that's what we got. Now, after doing that, just fold the arms forward. Fold the arms forward. Then, and there's a little peg right here that'll tab into place up here, like that. Now for the legs, you need to fold it out straight, then just pull the entire thing out, and then you'll end up with what would look like this. Then the wheel will then slide in like that. Then, taking the foot, fold it round like this, and then using a little peg that sticks out a little bit here and a hole in here, just peg it into place, and then using the wheel, just push the foot up. So it's a very complicated leg transformation, but it's an interesting one because we haven't got many like it. So just fold up and around into place. So then, taking again the top of the car, you actually need to fold the entire rear bumper, or the back of the car, fold it in, and then taking the entire thing, fold it down to the back, and then it'll pretty much just peg into place there very nicely. No movement or anything. Now for the head, you need to just simply push down on a little panel here, fold it around, and in my case just fold the head round, and there we have Bumblebee. Now for the record, I have filled in little details on his face with black pen, so that's how I got that. But so here we have Bumblebee in robot mode. For the most part, it is a very accurate looking robot mode to the game. Now, it's not often you actually have to say that. But let me show you guys the biggest gripe or the biggest problem that I have about this figure. This! Hasbro, you've made good Transformers toys, good ones. Why did this one have to have a giant freaking back? I mean, I don't know what you would even call that. It's not even a back. It's more like ultimate ginormous back kibble. I mean, that's exactly what it is. But, well, we have Bumblebee. For the most part, very nice little detailing. A lot of extra red in robot mode. Now, there is one little thing that I really do like about this toy. He has two blades, which are red, of course. But they are very nice little blades. Now, there's absolutely no arguing about it. They are very nice looking. And you can actually get some nice poses out of them because the articulation does actually give you quite a bit. So you can get some relatively good poses out of them, I guess. But, now speaking of, articulation, time I got into that, so I'll fold the blades away for now. So, for the articulation, his head can go side to side, it can go 360, it can go up and down a little bit, but fortunately there's a little bit of a neck joint, so it can actually move about quite a bit on that joint. So then the arms can go forward and back, in and out. They can go 360, but the back gets in the way a little bit. The arms pivot 360 up there. They bend at a 90-degree angle just here. They bend at the elbow as well, which is great to see. Straight up, actually. So you got two joints for the elbow, and then the wrist pivots 360. So that's very nice to see. Now there is a little bit of waist articulation, which is still great to see. Now because the back can move a little bit, if you do move it out, you can get full waist articulation. But the legs themselves, they can also go forward and back, in and out. They pivot because of the transformation just here, which is a bit awkward, but they also pivot 360 at this joint here. They bend at the elbow, and the feet do pivot about a little bit. But really, there is a nice amount of detail, amount of articulation out of this guy, particularly in the arms, which I feel is one of Bumblebee's greatest strengths for this figure. So yeah. Now he does come, besides the swords, he does come with a little gun, which is actually stored in the bumper. So you can actually just pull this out and hold it in his hand. Now, there are several gripes or several things that I don't really like about this toy. The first is the huge back kibble. I mean, if only Hasbro would engineer this to fit in better, because really, from the looks of things, this just looks either pathetic or sad, you know. But besides that, you know, he has a very nice little body. The legs are a tiny bit too skinny-ish for my liking for this toy. But I mean, the third and worst part of it is he comes with such a tiny little gun. I mean, there were good guns in both Transformer games, you know, Fall and War 4 and Fall of Cybertron. I mean, why did Bumblebee have to get this tiny little thing? I mean, these are Transformers Prime. This is Transformers Prime Cups weapons. I mean, if Bumblebee had gotten even something similar to this, but could actually either extend out or become part of his arm, I mean, this would have looked like a great gun. And I mean, it would have raised the things for the marks for this figure by a great amount. Unfortunately, reality returns, and we have this tiny little gun. So at the end of the day, a good Transformers figure, let down by some of its gimmicks and detailing, but nonetheless, not the worst Transformers Bumblebee figure we've ever had. Not the worst, not the worst. So, my mark, I'll be nice and I'll give it a 7.5. But that's still a relatively good figure, a relatively good score for this figure. But at the end of the day, that's this review over. Alrighty, this is Nice/2020 Junior. Subscribe to my channel for videos and more. Like me on Facebook by searching for Nice/2020 Junior. Have a nice day. See you all around. Until next time. See you guys. And that, kids, is how we did it in my day. Which leads me to a story. Oh God, no!